Hello, everybody. Welcome to this YouTube Live. Let me just make sure our technology is all set up here. Go. And let me check one more thing. I need to make sure it's broadcasting properly. Actually, hold on just a moment. Make sure everything is working. Okay, yes, we are live. Okay, fabulous. Hello, everyone. I am Jocelyn Starfeather. I'm the founder of Sacred Planet. And today I am going to bring you a really powerful mid-November astrology update. And then together, we're going to do a shamanic journey. I will guide you in this really, really beautiful shamanic journey to energize the timelines that are leading toward peace. And I'll tell you more about that as we get to it in the video, but this is a major shift toward peace that is happening for all of us collectively right now. And I would love to know in the comments in YouTube, have you felt this shift? I feel like it occurred, and I've had other people that also had the same experience in the days leading up to the new moon in Scorpio, which was November 13th. So somewhere around 11/11, somewhere between November 10th to the 12th, there's this major shift that has happened where we can feel more light coming in, we can feel more positive energy, we can feel more hope. And this is part of this massive shift in consciousness that's happening, all around the planet right now. But as we see so much darkness and fear happening in the world, the light is also coming in at a higher and higher level, right? And so we're going to do this beautiful shamanic journey to energize that light, to energize hope and joy and compassion and peace and all of these things that we want to see in our future, because we are so powerful as creator beings. And when we hold that highest vision for beautiful outcomes, it increases the chance of that happening, as told in these incredible prophecies from so many ancient and indigenous cultures. I'll tell you more about all of that as we get to it. But first, I just want to take a look at the new moon in Scorpio chart, as we've just recently moved through this very, very powerful new moon in Scorpio. And I would love to hear in the chat, for those of you watching on YouTube, how did this new moon come through for you? And I have a separate video that's all about the new moon. I'll link that in the description field here. But I'll just give a little summary here, and I would love to hear what happened for you during this new moon. This new moon I saw was really about opening to our wildness and our freedom. And that's because Scorpio stands for our wildness. Scorpio is the magic, the mystery, our true and deep power that is hidden beneath our shadows. It's the parts of ourselves that we hide away, or that maybe we don't want to look at because it would reveal to us just how powerful we truly are. And Scorpio is really longing for all things, including each of us as humans, but also the entire earth, the entire cosmos, to return to all of its true power and wildness, right? This power and wildness that is inherent in creation itself. That is what Scorpio is about. And so you may have felt a call to that, or you may have had situations come up in your life around November 13th, the new moon in Scorpio, that showed you where maybe you're not connected to your wildness, or maybe you are, what you're longing to change in your life to get connected to that wildness. And then also Uranus. So we had the sun and moon in Scorpio here, okay, at 20 degrees of Scorpio on November 13th. And Uranus was directly opposite that at 21 degrees of Taurus. Uranus stands for our freedom and our liberation. So these were the energies that were so strong at this new moon: our wildness, a call to wildness, and a call to freedom and liberation. So let me know in the chat, how did that show up for you? Was it beautiful? I've talked to people who've had beautiful experiences with this new moon. I've talked to people who've had incredibly challenging experiences with this new moon. So it seems that we all had very different and unique experiences that were all meant to lead us back to that wildness and freedom. And there's a big question here that you can still ponder because we're still in this new moon window, which is, what does freedom look like for you in your life? And what will it take to create that in your life? So that's a little brief recap of the new moon in Scorpio. Again, I'll link the full new moon in Scorpio video in the description field once we're done recording here. But I also now want to move into the astrology going forward from this moment and what to expect for the rest of November, because it's really powerful, it's really important, and we have huge power to make big shifts, big changes in our lives, make really crucial decisions in favor of what we know to be true in our heart, regardless of what anyone else says. And Scorpio is very in favor of that too. You know, coming back to truth, Scorpio wants us to excavate within and find the deepest truths that we hold within and then bring them out into the light. And this is true magic. This is true alchemy. This is how we transform ourselves. And so we still have, now this is as of 9 a.m. New York time today, November 14th. So as we're recording this, basically, we still have the sun here at 21 degrees of Scorpio. And, you know, the sun now is in a direct opposition to Uranus. So that liberation instinct, that freedom instinct is still so strong for us right now. And we have Mars very close to the sun. They're going to have a conjunction, which I'll talk about in a minute. Mars is at 23 degrees of Scorpio. And we have Ceres, the Earth Mother Goddess, who is equivalent. So it's Ceres in the Roman mythology. Demeter is her name in the Greek mythology. So you may be familiar with the story of Demeter and Persephone. This is her right here. This is the Earth Mother Goddess who rules the changing of the cycles and seasons in our world. So we have these powerful energetics in Scorpio. We also have the asteroid Lilith. That's this cool star glyph over here at 7 degrees of Scorpio. Lilith, too, is a big player in this new moon energy and in all that's moving through Scorpio right now. Lilith is the revolutionary feminine. She is that feminine goddess energy within us that will not stand for the status quo, that will not stand for whatever we're handed in the mainstream or the rules and regulations that we were told we had to follow. She is seeking freedom, and she's going to do it her way, and she's going to follow her heart, not anybody else's rules. So that's amplifying all of this, your wildness and your freedom energy right now during the new moon in Scorpio window and also following it. So this is a really powerful breakthrough period that we are in following this new moon in Scorpio. It is so important to tune into, what did you learn during that new moon in Scorpio time, specifically about your power, your freedom, and your wildness. And really look at what was shown to you, what was revealed to you, what were the events happening that maybe seemed like, you know, this was just something going on in my life. And as you examine it more deeply, which is what Scorpio asks us to do, remember, excavate more deeply, go into the deeper layers, you might find that there's something really important shifting and changing in your life. And these circumstances or conversations you had or events that occurred on these days around November 10th to the 13th are revealing the themes to you, are revealing the changes you know you need to make, or revealing what you really want to bring into your life. And so the question in the 2 weeks following this new moon are, what actions are you going to take as a result of what you have learned from this new moon in Scorpio? So we have the opportunity for huge breakthroughs here, huge changes and shifts in direction, and the timeline shift that we can do as a collective that I'm going to tell you about in a little bit here. The reason for this is not only that we continue to have so much energy in Scorpio amplifying all that was revealed during the new moon, but also because we are leading up to a Sun-Mars conjunction. So the Sun-Mars conjunction is going to be exact on November 17th and 18th. And I will just move the chart forward here a few days so you can see how that will occur. Okay, this is pretty close to exact right here. You can see that both Mars and the sun, the sun's moving a little faster, so the sun caught up to Mars here, and they're both at 25 degrees of Scorpio on November 18th at 9 a.m. New York time. That's not the exact time of the conjunction, but it's pretty close. They're at Mars is at 25 degrees and 51 minutes here, and the sun is at 25 degrees and 57 minutes, so very, very close to exact. And so we're already in the energy of this as I'm recording this video on November 14th. We're already feeling this, but as you may know, Mars is the part of us within that wants and knows how to take the aligned and proper and highly conscious actions. And when Mars and the sun come together, they are both extremely fiery. Okay, they are both the fire element. They are both an extremely strong force in the cosmic energies. And so they're both increasing the combustibility of one another. So this is a really fiery time. This is a time when we could experience both sides of that combustible polarity. Okay, so on the positive side of this can bring confidence. This can bring a heroic energy, like a spiritual warrior energy, courage, boldness, knowing how we want to move ahead. And so we want to really work with that positive energy of the sun and Mars coming together, and all the power and all the confidence and the fieriness that brings, in a feminine form. And I'm saying this because we have so many goddesses around. We have Lilith here at 9 degrees of Scorpio now on this day, November 18th. We have Ceres at 27 degrees of Scorpio. So it's like the sun and Mars, these really strong masculine energies, then are like flanked on either side by the goddesses, by the feminine. And Scorpio itself, being a water sign and being about magic and mystery, is very feminine, right? So it's like this masculine fire wrapped in a beautiful, I see like the wings of Isis, right, of the feminine. But we want to really tap into that positive energy of the Mars-Sun conjunction. And again, we want to think about, what did you learn during November 10th to the 13th, during this time when we were leading into and experiencing the new moon in Scorpio, and how do you want to take action on that now? What do you want to change in your life? And using your confidence, your heroic nature, your courage, your boldness to do that. The negative side of the sun and Mars being conjunct, we want to be aware of this because we don't want to fall into this, can be volatility, aggression, anger, an internal feeling of unrest. So if you're feeling that, it doesn't mean you're wrong. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong, but you want to try to channel that into a positive outcome. Okay, try to channel that into being able to take action with courage and boldness. Now, it is really important to be aware of what we're creating at this very powerful time. We want to bring intentionality and consciousness into everything we do. And that's kind of the best way to work with Mars energies, especially when they're amplified by the sun like this, because Mars can be reckless and make poor decisions because he's just so fiery and just wants to charge ahead with something. So we don't want to do that. Okay. You want to really work with the goddesses here and the feminine part of this whole lineup in Scorpio right now. Bring the masculine and feminine together. Okay. And feel it in your heart. Be sure of it with your intuition, and then move forward with your courage and boldness. Now, we want to note here that Uranus is still very present. Uranus has now moved to 20 degrees of Taurus as he is retrograde at this time. So he's not exactly opposite of the sun and Mars anymore, but pretty close. So he's a big part of this equation too. And Uranus can bring in the unexpected. On the positive side of this, it's really about let yourself be surprised by what you're capable of. Let yourself be surprised by your own power, your own courage, your own conviction and boldness. Really follow your intuition. but let yourself not be stopped by what other people will think or say. Let yourself not be stopped by rules, restrictions, regulations of society, or what you're told you should do or you have to do. Scorpio is not you're not, working with Scorpio if you're following other people's rules and regulations. Scorpio is so much about our own internal knowing, our internal power, our intuition, the watery nature of ourselves that is really in connection with the oneness of all things and can access the intelligence of all things. All the water signs stand for that. Scorpio and Pisces and Cancer, they all stand for that connection with all things. But Scorpio is so much about our power that comes through that, right? So this is what's really important to know about the energies right now. And this, what's happening here with the Sun-Mars conjunction opposite Uranus, while Uranus is at 20 and 21 degrees, this is preparing us for April. In April 2024, when Jupiter and Uranus come together here in Taurus at 21 degrees of Taurus, we have the opportunity to take a huge leap, each of us individually and all of us as a human collective. So we're getting these tastes of what that's going to feel like, and this is definitely one. This is meant to be empowering. This is meant to be breakthrough moments. This is meant to be helping you to break free from what's holding you back, helping you to move forward in a courageous and bold new way. And, we want to really take those opportunities when we can and be in the highest place to take our most aligned leap in April 2024 when the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction occurs. Now, I want to also share with you that I'm going to put a slide up for this part, that as we get close to the full moon in Gemini a little bit later this month, it's also going to continue to be a really powerful time. So it's like now and for the next 2 weeks, use your full power, use your full intuition, do what feels most aligned for you and really trust your inner knowing. So November 25th and 26th, these are the days just before the full moon, which will be on the 27th. Okay. And the moon is still waxing at this time. The moon is going to be in Taurus. Okay. Right before we have that full moon in Gemini, the moon will move through Taurus and will conjunct Jupiter, which is the planet of our expansion, our growth, our abundance, our highest spiritual knowing and higher learning. Okay. And then the moon will conjunct Uranus. The moon moves very fast. And so it's going to touch Jupiter. It's going to touch Uranus. Again, we're getting a glimpse of what that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is going to be like in April, because the moon is like tying their energies together here. And Uranus, again, is about our freedom, our liberation, surprising events, things we never saw coming. Let me take a little drink here of my tea. And so this November 25th and 26th, we're going to feel a heightened desire for freedom and expansion. This freedom and wildness theme continues all throughout the month of November, even once the sun moves into Sagittarius around the 20th, it's going to continue. Okay. So this question here, what is your bold and liberated choice for your life and your future? Choose your new beliefs, claim your power, take action, rewrite your story now. Then we will have the full moon in Gemini on November 27th. Okay, so this will be with the sun at 4 degrees of Sagittarius and the moon at 4 degrees of Gemini. And this is really fiery because at the same time, the sun will be conjunct with Mars in Sagittarius. They will both be moving into Sagittarius essentially at the same time. So this is a huge activation. This is about claiming your power, claiming your role as the spiritual warrior, the one who is independently and optimistically forging a new path ahead. And I think actually this is supposed to be Sun conjunct Mercury. Hold on one second. I need to fact check. Sorry about that. Hold on one second. I need to scroll ahead because I think I made that slide at the beginning of the year, and I think I might have put Mars when I meant Mercury. Let me check here. Oh no, Mercury's way ahead. Okay, yeah. So I'll just show you on this day. This is close to the time of the full moon. Yeah, Mars and the sun are still really close. So that's so interesting. They're going to be traveling together. They're going to enter into Sagittarius together here, Mars and the sun. So my slide is correct. They'll still be really close to conjunct, 3 degrees apart, but pretty close. Okay, so coming back to the slide here. So this is really about claiming your courage, your boldness, your freedom. Again, it's like the theme continues, and we're going to be given all of these opportunities all throughout the rest of November to really claim that, to get clear on what freedom means to us, to get clear on what being courageous means to us, so that we can take the actions going forward. We will also have, at the same time as the full moon in Gemini on November 27th, Venus conjunct the South Node. So it's important here to look at what did we learn during the Venus retrograde from July 22nd to September 3rd? And is there anything you still need to clear or release as a result of those learnings? We're also going to have Mercury square Neptune. So Mercury in Sagittarius will be squaring Neptune in Pisces. And this is an invitation to really surrender to our dreams and visions, even if it feels hard. You know, it's a square. Squares are where we feel tension, but it's because there's an opportunity. It's because it's an invitation out of the comfort zone and into something new, right? So really allow yourself to be led by that which you cannot see. Don't keep yourself stuck in linear ways of thinking on this day. Now, I'll probably do a separate full moon in Gemini update with even more details, but I wanted to get you this because it's so important to see how the energy flows through the month and continues supporting us in our courage, our freedom, our power, our boldness, our wildness in all these amazing ways. And I want to invite you to say with me the alchemical prayer before we go into our shamanic journey today. So if you haven't seen this before, this is a prayer that I share in all of my classes and everything that I teach with the Sacred Planet community. I've worked with alchemy for many, many years now, and alchemy is the science of transformation. Okay, the art and science of transformation, I should say. And so this alchemical prayer really opens our hearts to the vastness of the possibilities that are truly available to us, that nobody tells us about in this modern world. So I invite you to say this prayer together with me. Dear universe, please send me all of the things that I need and most deeply desire that I do not even yet know are possible. And this prayer is so important during this time, this month of November, because there is so much opening up to us that we didn't even perceive was available, right? As far as our freedom, our wildness, our courage, our boldness. So really let your mind be so open this month. Let your heart be so open this month to new possibilities, both individually in your own life and collectively for all of us as a human collective on the planet. And allow yourself to be surprised. You know, Uranus is always inviting us to allow ourselves to be pleasantly surprised. And another note here to help us navigate the intensity of all this that's going on in the world and in our lives is allow yourself to be excited and enjoy about the unexpected and about the unknown, because we're truly living in this massive time of unknown. We don't know what's going to happen next. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or next week or next month. And it seems like things are moving so quickly, changing so rapidly. And so if we can shift our perception, right, our perspective from being afraid of the unknown into being excited about the possibilities of what could happen that we never even dreamed possible, but that could be very, very positive. And we feel the emotions of that, and we vision a new vast idea of what's possible, that shifts and changes everything in our own life experience, and also ripples out into the collective and shifts the collective toward a more positive future. So this is really important. And this leads right into what I want to share with you next, right? About moving into creating a vision for the future, holding that vision, and shifting the timelines with that vision. So let me tell you a little bit about that. Now, Scorpio energy that we're in right now, it's very shamanic. It really opens up our true and deep power within. It opens up our magic, which is magic is not airy-fairy. Magic is an ancient science that includes alchemy and astrology and astronomy and working with our life force energy and the Kundalini energy that has been practiced in literally every ancient society, in India, in Egypt, in Peru, in North America, in Europe, all around the world. Okay, magic has been practiced, and Scorpio is helping us to move into a remembrance of our true magic and our actual ability to create new realities. And I want to share with you a vision that I had in a sweat lodge in 2017, and it's something I've been working with ever since, and I think you'll find it really powerful. So I'm going to tell this fairly quickly, but you'll feel the power of it. So in this vision, my guide, which was Buffalo in that journey, flew me up from the earth, and I was looking down on the earth and seeing the oil drilling and the destruction and the, not being in right relationship as we were leaving. And we flew up and through the center of the Pleiades constellation. And on the other side of the Pleiades, Buffalo and I landed on a new earth, right? Or I should say it wasn't a different earth, because that's an important part of the message. We landed on the earth, and this earth that we landed on the other side of the Pleiades was whole and pristine and completely unharmed. She was in her original state of beauty. All of her rivers were running clear and clean. All of her oceans were completely clean and filled with, teeming with marine life. There was no oil drilling. There were no trees cut down for logging or anything else, or agriculture. The trees went all the way up to the tops of the mountains, right? There was nothing cut off the top to put cell phone towers or whatever we're doing today. And all of the species were restored. All of the plants and animals were living so healthy and happy. And the people, every color, every race of people were living together in peace and harmony and indigenously in right relationship and connection with the earth. And so we flew around the earth, and I could see on every continent this was happening, all of this beauty, a return to the original blueprint for the earth, the original blueprint for how all of life is meant to be living here. And the message, as I was kind of coming out of this vision, was this version of the earth is already real. She is already here. She is already in her pure, pristine, original state of health and wholeness. And the only thing preventing you from seeing this is your own perception. Now, of course, then I come out of the journey, I come out of the sweat lodge, and I'm back in our modern world. At that time, I was in California driving down freeways and stuff. And I was like, how do I integrate this information? Because I could feel it was complete truth in the journey. And yet we are faced with this reality where what we see is not what I saw and was told in the vision. And the reason I'm telling you this today is that it is critically important for us at this time, as we're seeing on the earth, so much destruction, we're seeing war, we're seeing illness, we're seeing really incredibly terrible, heartbreaking things happening in our world. And we're all very aware of that because we're interconnected, we're globally connected and all receiving the news from all around the planet, right? We're very, very aware of this. This is all connected with the rising consciousness that is happening at this time. Now, during the last few months, I've been reading so much about our deep, deep ancient human history. So this is from like 36,000 years ago to 12,000 years ago or so. And looking at the cycles based on the precessional cycles. So the precessional cycles are 24 to 26,000 year cycles, where we can see that big changes happen every 12 to 13,000 years. And when you double that, it's the 24 to 26,000 years. So these are the vast cycles that the Mayan calendar is based upon, that the sealing of Dendera Temple in Egypt tells about, that the yugas are based upon, that the Pachacuti, traditions in South America, the calendars are based on. So these are the vast cycles that we are a part of. And we are right now at the ending of one 12 to 13,000 year cycle and the beginning of a new one. And there are prophecies from every continent telling about this time as a time of tremendous change. And what we see again and again in these prophecies is that at this moment that we're at, it's like 2012 and the years following that, like the 20 years or so following 2012, we have the ability to shift the entire trajectory of humanity. And these prophecies tell of things like the eagle and condor will fly together again, okay? The eagle being the sacred masculine, the condor being the sacred feminine. They've been separated in the mythologies, right? In these cosmologies, they will come together and fly together again. There are other prophecies that tell about 1,000 years of peace following this time. There are other prophecies that tell about the return of the rainbow warriors, and the rainbow warriors, those who hold the truth of the light, becoming the leaders of the world once again, right? So there are all of these prophecies that tell about how we are moving into a positive shift. And a principle of alchemy is that as we are seeing more of one polarity, the other polarity is equally increasing. Okay, so I want you all to know that as we are seeing what we perceive to be increasing darkness in our world, increasing pain, increasing tragedy, the opposite of that, okay, so all the light, all the healing, all the joy is also becoming stronger. The thing is, on the news, they're not telling us about the joy. They're only telling us about the fear and the darkness. And that is a way that they're controlling our consciousness. And we need to be aware of this, not to be afraid of what the governments are doing or whatever, but so that we can consciously shift it. And it is a critical moment. I have received these downloads of information around the Scorpio New Moon, making it really, really clear. This is a pivotal choice point moment for us as humanity right now, where we get to choose not to energize all the fear and all the things they put on the news and all the ways that they're taking our power away by making us afraid and making us feel small and powerless. Instead, Scorpio, okay, we get to claim our power, we get to claim our freedom, and as we internally do this, it changes the entire collective. And as more and more people do this, it shifts the entire collective. Now, another thing, as I mentioned earlier, that has happened is there was a timeline shift that occurred somewhere around November 10th or 11th into a more positive future. And this is happening either way, but we hold great power. Our consciousness, our human consciousness, holds tremendous power to create shifts and changes on the earth. Our imagination is a sacred aspect of our human existence that we can use to raise our consciousness, to raise our frequency, to vision the future that we truly want. And so while this timeline shift has happened, we also need to take the responsibility with our consciousness to energize it. Take our responsibility not to go off into these fear-based imaginings, right? But instead to move into a place of imagining the highest outcomes, imagining peace, holding a vision for joy. And I want to guide you now in a shamanic journey so we can do this together. But first, I would love to know, could you write in the chat, have you felt the shift? Please write in the YouTube chat, have you felt this shift somewhere around November 10th, 11th, 12th? into more light, into more peace. I've talked to so many people who have also felt it. So I would love to know who in the audience here has felt it. And I just want you to remember, human consciousness is incredibly powerful on this planet, and we have a responsibility to hold the light and not let our awareness linger too long in the darkness. Now, there may be some days when you just need to grieve, or you just need to cry, or you're feeling anger, or you're feeling desperation, and you just need to feel it and release those energies and let them move through. Do that. It is really important. There's nothing wrong with doing that. It's part of how we're processing the information and the energetics. But don't let yourself stay stuck in it. Okay. Allow yourself to release it, to move it through, and then bring yourself consciously back into a higher frequency state of being. It's so important right now. We're really all impacting the collective and our future events at this time. So we have the power to reinforce and further activate this timeline shift, which is occurring. So let's use the amazing technology, the magical technology of our bodies, which is the highest technology of all, right? Our bodies and our consciousness are more powerful than any Zoom or YouTube, right? Or AI or spaceships or whatever there is that we're, building or constructing with our technological capabilities. Our bodies, our life force energy, the life force energy of the earth and all the plants and animals, which we hold within ourselves, the light streaming in from the sun and stars and all the heavenly bodies, which we receive information from. All of this is so much more powerful than any, modernized technology. And so we're going to use that. We're going to connect in with that today. So I invite you to get really comfortable in your space. And if there is any meditation music that you enjoy listening to, I invite you to press play on that music now. I can't play music through YouTube, but it will, if you want to turn on meditation music, that would be wonderful for your experience. And I invite you to really listen to your body, whether you want to lay down or be sitting up or even maybe standing and moving, and let it be a movement journey. Any of these options are completely fine. And let's begin taking some deep breaths into the heart. So you can place both hands on your heart, close your eyes, and take a deep breath into your heart where you feel the absolute abundance of the oxygen and the sunlight and all of the elements flowing into your heart through the breath, filling up with the magic of life. And then on the out breath, allow yourself to breathe out and release any worries, any doubts, any fears, anything that feels heavy. Just breathe it out and let it go. You don't need it. You can let it go now. And just continue with this deeper rhythm of breathing into your heart, really filling up with the magic of the life force on every in-breath, and letting go more and more of any heaviness, anything you don't need on the out-breath. And allow your consciousness to shift into a connection with the cosmos above and the earth below, and all of the vast intelligence that is held in the great above and the great below. And I invite you to imagine yourself in the most beautiful place in nature that you can imagine. And see yourself here now in this beautiful place in nature with the sun shining above you, shining down into your crown chakra at the very top of your head. Let yourself receive that light from the sun. And let yourself be barefoot in this place so that you are receiving the unconditional love from the earth up into the soles of your feet. And now I invite you to look down at your hands and see that you are holding a beautiful crystal clear quartz crystal. And you can feel that this is a really powerful crystal that holds the highest frequency energies in its crystalline structure. And just gaze at this crystal, take in the beauty of it. And then when you feel ready, hold this crystal up to the sun so that now the white light of the crystal is receiving the golden light of the sun. And as that light of the sun reflects off the crystal, it is beaming into your heart. So now you are receiving this beautiful energy of the golden light of the sun, the white light of the crystal, all of this shining through into your heart. And let that energy then circulate out from the heart to every cell of your being. Let that beautiful energy fill every cell and move into every layer of both your physical and your energetic bodies. And you might even see the Taurus Field, which is this field that emanates from the heart and goes out and up and around and then back into the center. You might even see your Taurus Field filled with that white and golden light from the sun and the crystal. And just stay here for a minute with this energy of the sun and the crystal and this bright light, this highest frequency light streaming into you, recalibrating you, helping you to heal from any denseness or pain or heaviness you've been experiencing. Really helping you to move into a very high frequency state of being. And continue with that deeper rhythm of breathing to help you fully receive all of this from the sun and the crystal, all of this light. And you may feel a sparkling or a tingling sensation all throughout your body as this light streams in. Because what's happening here is that you are being connected to Source Creator and all the light that is held in that highest intelligence of the universe that created all of us. So feel your oneness with Source Creator. Feel the light streaming through you and into you. And just stay with this. Just feel it. Let it heal you. Now, as you are receiving this healing and this high frequency, you can feel that something has shifted within you, where you are now able to access a higher vision for the future than maybe you could before. And so I invite you to really begin to imagine and dream into that new vision for the future. What do you see in this future? Do you see 1,000 years of peace? Do you see the eagle and the condor flying together once again? Do you see the rainbow warriors bringing light to the world? Be with your vision now and really allow yourself to feel that vision and these incredibly positive changes that are truly possible for us. And as you are seeing this vision, allow yourself to really feel the emotions of it. So you might feel the emotions of all the children all around the world, finally knowing that they are safe and that they have plenty of food to eat and that they are loved. Take a deep breath, breathe that in, the emotion of this incredibly powerful, positive future. You might feel the emotions of all the women all around the world rising into their power, rising into their true self-expression, and also knowing that they are safe and that they are so powerful. You might feel the emotions of all of the men all around the world, able to live as their true sacred masculine, feeling their power, feeling their ability to lead us in this new future alongside the women, alongside the elders and the children, all of us together stepping into who we are meant to be. Whatever you are seeing in your vision, really feel the powerful positive emotions of that, and let those emotions sweep through your entire body. Feel them in every cell. And then as you're still holding this crystal up to the sun, and as all of that beautiful light of the sun is streaming into the crystal and then into you, take this vision now from your heart and send it into the crystal. And let the crystal then refract and fractalize that vision out into the entire world. Let the crystal do all the work. You're just sending the vision to the crystal, and then the crystal is working its magic and is sending that vision out to every place on the planet, to every human, to every plant and animal, to every mountain, to every ocean. The entire world is receiving that highest frequency energy of your vision. Just see it going out and being sent to every place on the planet by this crystal, and permeating into every place and shifting and changing the course of events toward peace. Toward truth. Toward light. Just be with this for a minute. Just see it going out so powerfully, wrapping around the world, infusing into every part of our planet, and lifting it up with its high frequency energy. And know that this is extremely powerful, what you are doing right now. You are using your consciousness to shift and change our future. And as there are so many of us doing this together right now, and who will be doing this from the recording, all of this collective energy happening at essentially the same time is amplifying the power just magnificently. We are truly creating, visioning, and activating a higher future with beautiful outcomes and infinite possibilities of love, light, compassion, hope, and joy. We are creator beings. This is what we're meant to do. This is what we're here for. So taking a deep breath into the heart, now that you have seen this vision go out to the entire world. And I invite you to take this vision and take the crystal and place them both into your heart as you are standing there in your beautiful place in nature. Place them into your heart so you can take them with you. You can carry this vision. You can carry this crystal that's amplifying the vision and that is helping you stay in your highest frequency energy. And you're going to carry them with you now, always, after this moment, going forward from this moment. And every time that you think of this crystal and every time that you think of this vision, who are now living inside of your heart, you will energize this vision more and more every day. So take a deep breath into your heart, really feeling the new vision residing there. Feeling the crystal holding you so strong now in this highest frequency energy, now and going forward. And send gratitude to the vision and to the crystal and to your heart. And send gratitude to the sun and all the cosmic beings above. And then if you wish to, you can kneel down and place your hands upon the earth and send your gratitude to her. You can feel her unconditional love rising up to you, into you, rejuvenating you, healing you. And maybe you leave her an offering. Maybe you leave her a little sprinkle of tobacco or cornmeal or a tiny shell as an offering of your love and gratitude for the life that she gives us every day. And now it's time to slowly, gradually come back. So taking a deep breath into the heart. Breathing in all the magic that has happened here and feeling that vision and that beautiful quartz crystal now residing in your heart. And then breathe out, releasing, relaxing, coming fully present. And when you feel ready, you can open your eyes. Welcome back. Now I want to invite you to take some time to write down what happened for you in the journey. Take your journal or notebook, whether it's now or maybe a little later, whenever you have time to be uninterrupted, write it down. It's really important that we hold these visions so strongly because these visions are creating our future. And I also invite you to come back to that vision that you felt, that you saw, right? That you felt and saw, and energize it every day. You know, maybe every morning when you first wake up in the morning, think of that vision just for a minute or two, but really feel it, feel the emotions of it, see the beautiful changes in the world. Let yourself start your day with that. And when we start our day with such a powerful, positive vision, it shifts and changes how we do things the rest of the day, right? We live the rest of our day much more in alignment with that higher vision. So I strongly recommend that as just a really brief morning practice for a minute or two when you first wake up. Bring your consciousness back to that vision. Feel the emotions of all the beauty and the wonder and the peace and the joy. And let that inform you every day. let that guide you. Let that bring you back into truth and back into the light. And remember your power. Remember that you're a creator being. And I really invite you to, seize your courage and boldness during the rest of November. Enjoy these powerful energies we're moving through. If it feels difficult for you, don't worry, you're not doing anything wrong. Look deeper, see what are the messages coming through, see why is it hard? Is there something that's really wanting to change, that's really wanting to change state in your life so that it can become easier? Trust the journey, whatever you're receiving now. I hope you all are feeling very calm and relaxed and joyful and peaceful, having done the meditation, the shamanic journey. And I am sending you all so much love, and I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day.